moment my fishing line went tight, every sound around the lake died. And that's when I knew I wasn't fishing alone. The line went tight so suddenly it nearly ripped the rod from my hands. For a split second I smiled because that's what every fisherman waits for. The pull. The fight. The proof that something alive is on the other end. Then the water stopped moving. Not calm. Not rippling. Stopped, like it had turned solid. The lake went dead silent. No insects. No wind. Even the cheap motorboats I'd heard all afternoon were gone. Like someone had muted the world. Whatever was on my line wasn't swimming. It was holding on. I was fishing alone at Blackwater Lake in northern Michigan. The kind of place locals avoid without ever clearly saying why. No warning signs. No legends on Google. Just that uncomfortable pause people make when you mention the name. Be careful out there, the gas station clerk had said. Eyes never meeting mine. I ignored it. I always do. I come here for one reason, big fish. The kind you don't photograph for Instagram because the picture never does it justice. The sun was sinking fast, bleeding orange into the tree line. I should have packed up earlier, but greed does that to you. One more cast. Always one more. The rod bent harder. I leaned back, bracing my boots against the damp wood of the dock. The reel screamed as the line peeled out. Not fast. Slow. Controlled. Intelligent. That's no damn bass, I muttered. Then I felt it. A vibration. Not through the rod, through the dock. Something underneath shifted its weight. The water near the dock bulged upward. Not splashing. Not breaking the surface. Just swelling. Like a breath being held. I let go of the rod. It didn't snap back. Stayed bent. Floating there. Line pulled straight down into the black. I backed away, heart pounding, suddenly aware of how far the car was and how dark the trees had gotten. The dock creaked once. Then came the smell. Brut. Old meat. Swamp and rust. The water broke. Not with a splash, but with a slow, deliberate rise. A shape emerged, slick and pale, dragging itself up just enough for me to see skin stretched too tight over something massive. No scales. No fins. Just flesh, human-looking flesh, webbed with veins the color of old bruises. I froze. The thing didn't thrash, didn't roar, turned, and it looked at me. Its eyes were wrong. Too many reflections. Like it had been staring up at fishermen for a long time, memorizing faces. The line snapped. The rod flew into the water and vanished. The thing sank back down without a sound, the surface sealing over it like nothing had happened. The world exhaled. Crickets came back. Wind brushed the trees. The spell broke. I ran. I didn't pack. Didn't look back. I hit the trail like something was right behind me. Branches slapping my face. Lungs burning. I reached the car and peeled out, gravel spraying, not stopping until the lake was miles behind me. That night I told myself I'd imagined it. Stress. Low light. Adrenaline. That lie lasted exactly 3 days. On the 4th morning I found the hook. It was sitting on my kitchen counter. Still wet. Still tied to the line. And it smelled like the lake. I didn't call the cops. Try explaining that. Instead I drove back. That's the part people never understand. They think survival instinct means running forever. It doesn't. Sometimes it means knowing something followed you, and deciding whether you're prey or a problem. Blackwater Lake looked smaller in daylight. Harmless. Almost boring. I wasn't alone this time. 3 trucks were parked near the boat ramp. 2 men and a woman stood by the water, rods in hand, laughing too loud. Weekend fishermen. Outsiders like me. I watched them from my car, debating whether to say anything. I didn't. That's on me. They cast their lines. The lake accepted them. An hour passed. Nothing strange. Then one of the men hooked something. Same slow pull. Same controlled drag. I saw his smile fade as the rod bowed deeper than it should. Big one, he said, forcing a laugh. The woman stepped closer. The second man filmed on his phone. The water went still. I shouted, "Cut the line! Get away from the edge!" They looked at me like I was crazy. The dock groaned. The lake bulged. The woman screamed first. The surface split wider this time, And it didn't stop at one shape. There were more. Hands broke the water, too many fingers, joints bending the wrong way. Faces pressed just beneath the surface, mouths opening and closing, practicing. The man with the rod was pulled forward so fast his feet left the dock. He hit the water and vanished without a splash. The phone hit the boards, still recording. The woman ran. She almost made it. Something grabbed her ankle. She didn't go under immediately. She was dragged, inch by inch, nails tearing grooves into the wood as she screamed until her voice broke. Then she was gone. The lake went quiet again. The remaining man collapsed, sobbing, staring at the water like it might look back. I grabbed him and dragged him to my car. He didn't resist. He didn't speak. We drove until the road ended at a ranger station. That's when he finally whispered. They were waiting. The rangers searched the lake. They found nothing. No bodies. No blood. Just fishing lines, dozens of them. Tangled together at the bottom, hooks rusted, lures half dissolved. And bones. Human bones. All with bite marks that didn't match any known animal. Blackwater Lake was closed the next day. Officially, for environmental testing. Unofficially, it didn't matter. Because lakes don't need permission to be hungry. And sometimes, when I'm standing near water at night, I feel that familiar tension. Like a line going tight in my chest. And I know something down there remembers me. Still holding on. The first time the lake spoke to me, it didn't use words. It used my name. I was asleep when I heard it. Soft, wet, dragged across my dreams like a fishing line across skin. Elijah. I sat straight up in bed, heart hammering, sheets twisted around my legs. My room was dark, but not quiet. I could hear water, dripping, slow, steady. There was no water in my apartment. I followed the sound into the kitchen. The sink was dry. The floor was dry. The sound came from my phone. It was vibrating on the counter. Screen lit with a notification from an unknown number. No text, just a photo. Blackwater Lake. Taken from above the dock. Taken last night. I dropped the phone. They'd closed the lake, fenced it off, posted guards. News vans came and went. Conspiracy channels had their fun. Then the story died, replaced by something louder, dumber. But the lake didn't die. It just learned how to reach farther. The ranger I dragged out, the survivor, killed himself 2 weeks later. Left no note. Just muddy footprints leading into his bathroom and stopping at the tub. The guards quit. One by one. Night shifts mostly. They said they heard splashing where there was no water. Felt hooks snag their clothes, their skin. Then people in nearby towns started disappearing. Always near water. Rivers. Ponds. Even bathtubs. I tried to warn someone. Anyone. I emailed wildlife agencies, environmental boards, even a university biology department.